This video will show you how to find the sum of positive and negative numbers using a Python program. So this assignment asks you to first ask the user how many numbers they would like to enter and then have them enter those numbers. And then when that is done, you tell the user what is the sum of only the negative numbers, what is the sum of only the positive numbers, and what is the sum of all the numbers combined. And then at the end, we're supposed to also have the program repeat itself. So let's do these things one thing at a time. So first we're going to ask the user how many numbers would you like to enter. So this is the first piece, and that's what I want to ask the user. Okay, so it's going to be an integer input. We're going to ask them to do this, and we're going to say that, okay, well, this is going to be my x. Okay, how many numbers would you like to enter as x? And this x is going to determine how many numbers they're going to enter. So I'm just going to use it to control my loop. So the loop is going to start at 0, it's going to go up to x in increments of 1. So if I wanted to see my value of index for this loop, I can say index equals, and we'll see what it does. If I run the program, how many numbers do I want to enter? 3, and you can see that the loop happens 3 times. So let's say I want to, instead of doing print, what I want to do is actually have the user enter information. So this is going to be an input, and we're going to ask the user to enter a number. So here we're going to say enter number, and then which number is it going to be? Well, it's going to be the index. Whatever the value of index is going to be inserted here. So we have to change this to the %i notation. And I want to insert the value of index plus 1. Okay, so that when I run the program, it doesn't show me 0, 1, 2. It will show me 1, 2, 3. What I mean is, let me just complete it, int input, and because we want the user to enter integer or some kind of a number at least, and I can make it a float if I like to float, since it could be a decimal, and that is the number that the user is going to enter. So let's just check this. So how many numbers would you like to enter? I would like to enter 3 numbers. So enter number 1, 10, 20, 30. Okay, great. Maybe I want to put a little colon after this. So I'll go in there and I'll put a little colon right there. Then when I run the program one more time, then what it will do is 3 numbers, 10, 20, 30. Okay. Now what I want to do is, next thing is I would like to find the sum of all the numbers. So I'm going to make a variable sum. I'm going to set it equal to 0. And then here I'm going to tell it sum is equal to its old value plus this number that they're going to enter. Another way to write this, a shorthand notation, is sum plus equals number. Okay, same end result. So now let's have a look what the value of sum is. Print, when this whole thing is done, sum equals sum, and see if we get it. I want 3 numbers, 10, 20, 30, and yep, that's the sum. Now let's find the sum of only the negative numbers. I'm going to have a sum neg. I'm going to make it equal to 0. And whereas before we added every number to sum, right? Add every number to sum. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to only add negative numbers to sum neg. How do I know a number is negative? Well, if that number that the user entered is less than 0, then it's a negative number, and if that's the case, I'm going to add it to sum neg. Okay, and I'm using the syntax that I showed you earlier. So either I do it this way, or I can also write it as sum neg is equal to sum neg plus the number that the user entered. And then let's just check out to see what the end result is. See if we get the sum neg correctly as well. Sum neg is going to be only the sum of the negative numbers. So I'm going to go in there, I'm going to say, okay, three numbers, I want 10, minus 20, and minus 30. Okay, so there you go. Now the sum is negative 40 because we're including the positive, but the sum of the negative only numbers is minus 50. So this is how you find the sum of negative numbers, and I'll let you do the sum of positive numbers to complete this assignment.